Adam, great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute after the program. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
You bet. So let's begin our journey here before we get into your work by asking you this. 6 years ago, this pandemic changed the world. It affected the way we did everything. How did you get through that era, and how has it influenced the way that you work and live today?
Well, at the time, I was brand new. I had just moved to Kansas City. I took on the job of head of an independent school in whatever it was, I guess, August of 2019. And so I was in this brand new community. My family had just moved here. And I remember sitting in a basketball game with this guy, and he was like, "Have you heard about COVID?" And I said, "No, what's that?" And he said, "It's this big pandemic they just saw in China. It's coming. This is, the." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." And sure enough, every day it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, and and I think we were the very first school actually that decided to shut in Kansas City. We made the decision, 2 or 3 days before everybody else, but it was the writing was on the wall. It was clear that that was what was going to happen. Um, but COVID wasn't COVID wasn't a just a pandemic. It was a social divider. It was something in which, and then in the very beginning, it was like, okay, we're all in this together. And very quickly it became a like, well, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. No, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And became this like really politically divisive situation. And so I at the time was running the school and trying to hold this community together. Um, and did it by having lots of committee meetings in which various members of the community were able to come together and we would discuss together what was going on. And it was, a lot of doctors, but also, statisticians and people who were just like thinking all kinds about thinking about the pandemic in different ways. Um, what can I say? I mean, like we got through it. We did, like everybody else, we figured out how to do Zoom from home. Um, and we did lots of things when we came back to try and um, make it feel safe, like these air purifiers and masks and speakers and being outside. And we did everything we could. Many of those things were never or used or didn't weren't used for very long. Some people use them more. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, it was a huge event, and it sort of feels like something from another lifetime, doesn't it? Like it's
Yeah,
hard to imagine that we all went through that now.
yeah, it's wild. Well, I work in a school district. I'm in the Grandview School District. Which one were you in? What
You know
school?
Hyman Brand Hebrew Academy?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was the head of school there.
Okay, all right. Because I remember hearing about this in January. A friend of mine up in Liberty said, "Hey, we're getting notices that something's going to shut down." And I have a son on the spectrum who loves school, and I immediately went into denial. I was like, "Nope, it went right here and it went out. Like, there's
Yeah,
no
please
way."
no.
And it was like, and then all of a sudden I saw that picture in Beijing in January and it was empty and a shiver went up my spine. I said, there's no way that Beijing is empty right now. And it just was. There was a few people with masks. And then, of course, we know the rest of the story. Um, let me ask you this. So I know the basis of what you do is neuroscience, but if we put you in front of 13-year-olds right now at career day, and one of the kids wants you to synthesize your day job to make sense to them, how do you explain what you do for a living?
What I do for a living,
Yeah.
I'm a coach. I work with people one-on-one to help them achieve more and break through their barriers. Essentially, that's how I would describe it. Like, um, yeah, that's one sentence. How's that?
Yeah, that's perfect. So, did you have that moment in your life?
Had many moments. I had a moment just a few weeks. I mean, I have my own coach, right? I feel like if you're a coach, you should have a coach. If you believe in coaching, then you better have a coach to prove it and to help you.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I have a coach, and one of the issues I've been having recently is that I just like feel really awkward on Instagram. Like everyone's advertising, it's part of your brand, it's part of how you spread your message, it's part of social proof. If someone wants to check me out, it doesn't matter if I'm the best coach in the world. If they go to my Instagram and there's nothing there, it's like, yeah, come on, who's this guy? He's not for real.
Yeah.
So, but I feel awkward because I feel like I'm funny looking and I don't speak right. And I'm very self-critical. And also like I'm just going to say everything that everyone else has already said. Someone else said it before me, you know. Um, and I just, with my coach, I just kind of realized like they might have said it before me, but they're not me.
Right.
Like
Right.
I can say things my own way.
Uh-huh.
And there's people who would rather listen to me than to them. Just the same, everyone has their own community of people that they're speaking to, right? You say the same thing. One person says, I love that guy. And someone's like, I hate that guy. Someone over there says the same thing. It's the opposite reaction. So for me, it was just like, look, I understand that I'm unique. There's no one like me in the world. There's no one like you in the world. There's no one like anyone in the world. But my uniqueness, like there's people who need to hear from me and not from anybody else.
Yeah,
And so that was a major breakthrough for me. And I was able to go and start posting more frequently and feeling more comfortable about it, knowing that, yeah, some people are gonna say, man, I hate that guy. And some people are gonna say, I love that guy. And I don't, it doesn't matter to me about the people who hate me. It's like I don't want to deprive the people who love me of being out there to talk to them.
for
So,
sure. Yeah. So what did you want to be when you were a kid? When you were 12 or 13, what was the dream gig?
oh gosh, that was so long ago. And the thing is, I've had like a 10,000 different career ideas. Like
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur by nature. Uh, even in my career, when I was 12 or 13, I think I was like, no, I guess I was like 16. I was selling ice pops out of the back of my Plymouth Horizon, it's trying to compete with the ice cream truck. Uh, And from there, I've owned a Mexican restaurant. I've been a teacher. I've been a head of school. I've done wholesale real estate. And now I'm a coach. Um, and I didn't even know coaching was a thing back then, but I feel very, very satisfied that I ended up where I am. So,
Take me back to your beginnings. You said you moved here to Kansas City. Where are you from originally
mm.
and where are your roots at?
So Philadelphia suburbs,
Okay.
Philadelphia most of my life. Um, I think the most interesting thing of my whole childhood is that when I was 16, I was in a nearly fatal car accident. I had two brain surgeries. I was in the hospital for over 6 weeks.
Wow.
Um, and the recovery took a long time. My eyes pointed in two different directions for literally like 6 months until they eventually just healed themselves and pointed the right direction.
Wow.
So that was a lot to go through as a 16-year-old and very influential in my life. And um, yeah, that was a lot.
So was that I mean, you're young, but you can still be at that point where you can it's a turning point. Was that a big thing for you? Because you're obviously highly driven. You think like an entrepreneur. There's energy and success in your existence. How did all of that did it get harvested at that point or was it there before?
No, I mean, actually, at that time, it's hard to place myself back there exactly, but I know that I sort of felt like I want more out of life. I want a life of meaning. I want a life of purpose. Um, and it was sort of like a spiritual awakening more than anything else. I was like, I have this life. I almost lost this life, and I've been given a gift of being able to live the rest of it.
Yeah.
What do I want to do with it that has meaning?
Yeah.
And that's when you know, I actually lived in Israel for many years. I'm Jewish, and that felt for a time like living some sort of purpose. Eventually, the reality of it, led me back to the United States where I spoke the language and had friends and felt understood and felt like really part of the community instead of feeling like a transplant. Um, but I think that still affects me to today. I work with people with ADHD very frequently as a coach. I just wrote a book that's on CHAD. I don't know if you've ever heard of CHAD. CHAD's the National Organization for ADHD.
Yeah, I
And
have. Yeah.
yeah, so my book, I'm very proud to say, is now listed on the CHAD website, which is like a big bona fide for me. So I'm really excited about that. And I just want to help people. I mean, that was one of the problems when I was doing real estate is that it was out of line with my purpose.
Yeah.
Like doing real estate, like I loved making deals, but I didn't like the feeling of like trying to knock people down on their prices.
Yeah.
Um, and even though I'm not saying that to condemn anyone that does real estate or to make them feel bad for what they do, like it's just that it wasn't aligned with how I wanted to do business. And so now as a coach, what I love about it is like your success is my success.
Yeah.
I can't be successful unless I like make you more successful. So that's totally aligned with how I want to live and the purpose of my life, which I think is to like to do well by doing good.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. The one thing about coaching is that you have to have good examples around you that you see that you can emulate or that give you good stuff. Who has been that hero, that inspirational force in your life?
I don't have like an inspirational person, that I look up to. I mean, I read a lot of books and people there's many people who have like one great idea. And if I got one great idea from them, um, that affects me, right? And that helps carry me. And like so again, I don't suspect that anyone will see me as their number one hero. But if someone got one great idea, they read my book and they carry one idea with them for the rest of their lives, that to me is like a tremendous success. That feels like deeply fulfilling to me.
Speaking of fulfillment, writing a book is a big deal. It's a long process. It's a satisfying one, but it's a hard road. Talk to me about this journey. How did the idea come about? Talk to me about the book. Give me an idea of the journey.
So the book itself is called Split Second, and it's really an analysis of what happens between when you decide to do something and end up mowing the lawn, right? It
Yeah.
happens to all of us. Like there's always these things that we mean to do, and sometimes there can be like a small project that's on our to-do list for a year. We keep avoiding it for some reason. We bounce off of it. And so I really started thinking about this because of my own ADHD and reflecting on my own struggles and my own successes and failures, but really just thinking about like what's happening in that split second. And that's what I dove into, like really deeply, is into the psychology, the psychological mechanics, I would call it, of what happens in the split second when we go to do something. And we either enter into it and actually do it, or we do one of these off ramps. I call them off ramps, and like end up, drifting, which is to say like, oh, I'm gonna do this other work, maybe productive procrastination. Like, I know I need to make cold calls, but look at that, the dishes are dirty. I think I'll go do the dishes. I feel good about myself now. I didn't make my calls, but I have a clean kitchen, right? Or there's sedating. Sedating is like um scrolling Instagram or TikTok for 2 hours, putting on a show and binge watching it, um, smoking pot, and maybe it's sort of taboo to say that on your podcast, but
No.
people with ADHD have an 800% higher addiction rate to marijuana than people without ADHD.
Wow.
800%.
Wow.
So, so there's all these things so there's these off ramps that we take. And the other question was like, well, why do we take the off ramps? And basically I call those the F loads. And these are that we come into work loaded with emotion. And then that emotion is triggered in a split second when we go to do these things. And the big one is fear, right? What if I do it wrong? What if no one responds? What if, right? And so we get afraid of it and we just bounce off the work. But there's other ones too, like fracture. Fracture is where I was when it was like, I don't feel that the work that I'm doing is aligned with my values. That's a big one. It's hard to work really hard and be very successful in something that's not in line with your values, right? There's fog. When you wake up and you're like, I'm not even sure what my goal is. Where am I going? I don't know what to do. There's flood. I know what my goal is, but I have these 25 different strategies, and each strategy has 10 different points I need to do. There's 250 things I need to do, and I don't even know where to start. So all of these, and there's more, but all these things we carry with us when we go to do the work, and we think we're just supposed to do it. But all of these feelings, these things that we have going are triggered, and we recoil from the work and then take an off ramp.
Yeah.
So that's the essence of the book. And it really came you know, from just thinking,
Yeah.
meditation, like just like saying, why I've made all of these mistakes. I've taken all of these on off ramps. I've had all of these feelings. And if I can drag them out, if I can just like stop and like really go deep and try to drag these feelings out and acknowledge my own behavior, then maybe I can map it.
Yeah.
And that's what the book is mapping the whole psychological process that I've gone through, unfortunately, 100,000 times in my life. Every single
Yeah.
time, I'm like, I'm gonna do this. No, I'm not. There you go. Like, what happened in that second? That's the
Yeah.
book.
Interesting. Because we all do it. I mean, I even think about the alarm clock evolution, my psychology over the years. When it goes off, I just get up. I don't waste any time. It's like it's going to be a metaphor for what I want to do during the day. And I think sometimes we just get hung up and we are so distracted right now. They talk about how many thoughts we go through, how many distractive thoughts that we go through. And it's just hundreds of thousands a day.
Oh yeah.
We're
Oh
getting
yeah.
assailed. Like even with our phones, like we don't have this oasis to stay away from all these distractions like we may have 30, 40 years ago, you know? So,
Oh, and the most brilliant minds alive have thousands of brilliant minds have put all of their life energy into keeping our phones addictive. Our phones are not phones.
right.
Our phones are not phones. They operate as phones, but they're also arcades,
Uh-huh.
they're casinos, right? They're books,
Yep.
they're televisions. They're, think of the thousands and thousands of apps. They're there to keep our attention,
Yeah.
right? Oh, I have a program in my coaching program. One of the very first things I have people do is to charge their phone outside of the room.
Yeah.
And that's hard for people
Yeah.
because like we just feel like it needs to be, it's an extension of us. What if it's 11:30 at night and I need to find out what the capital of Thailand is?
Yeah.
What's the population of Mozambique? I need to know, right? It's just right, but separating, like even having the clarity to say I don't need my phone when I'm sleeping is a jump in today's world.
Yeah, it certainly is. So let me ask you this. If you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now, whether it's a coach or an inspirational figure, have a lunch, talk to them, someone that might help you on your journey, is there anyone you'd love to meet?
You, man. I'm like, I was like, why not? You live in Kansas City. Why?
Yeah,
You've done hundreds of podcasts. We should definitely get together for a coffee. I
yeah,
would love that. But
yeah,
Um, I have some heroes. I have some creative heroes that I love. I love Key and Peele. I think they're the funniest people
yeah,
alive. Harry Mack,
yeah.
you know that guy? He's
Oh, yeah,
like Instagram guy. He's a genius. There are certain people I think that just radiate this genius. And I just would love to meet them. There's this woman named Miriam Anzovin,
yeah,
and she's on Instagram. She talks about Talmud, and I think she's beautiful and brilliant, and I would love to meet her. So, there's lots of people, but you know, be nice to get out for coffee and meet some
yeah,
people.
absolutely. I get it. I totally get it. What is the energy for you every day to wake up to do this work at a high level? I mean, being a coach, you're holding on to a lot of people's lives to a certain degree, but you also have a soul in your life. What is that energy every day for you to do it at a high level?
Um, it's not draining, right? Because I'm helping people. I look forward to talking to them. I'm like pumped to like I'm not like you just said you're holding on to. And I wouldn't say like that makes me feel like I'm lifting them, that I'm holding them, I'm controlling them in some way.
Right.
And I'm not I feel like I'm like a shepherd, like a dog.
Sure.
It's just running around. That you've been helping them go the right direction. Right? I'm not forcing them. It's not hard for me. Their stress is not my, I get to just help guide them and help them release anxiety as well and just live better lives. And so more than anything, like coaching actually is like kind of exciting and relieving rather than stressful.
I get it. So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into the 18-year-old version of you. You walk into a room and there's a film projector. You click play and a 60-second highlight reel of the life you've lived comes up. Would that young version of you believe your life turned out this way?
There's an expression, man plans and God laughs. I don't think anyone can necessarily predict where their life is going to go, the experiences they're going to have, the twists and turns that it has coming for us. Um, I don't think any 18-year-old, I mean, look, when I was 18, I thought that when you turn 35, your life is essentially over, right? You're like, you're settled, you made your $1 million, and now you're just cruising off in your happy, easy marriage to, to whatever. And um, life just keeps going, doesn't it? Like it
Yeah,
just keeps throwing us curveballs, and it's hard. I don't care who you are. Life is hard sometimes. And I think that just the 18-year-old me would be surprised that life continues through adulthood to have challenges and ups and downs and to be intense and to have great twists and turns and victories and failures, and that it's not like you know hope I die before I get old. It's like it's just like that it's still intense in life, and we're always figuring things out.
yeah,
So
yeah. I totally get it. So, on that 60-second highlight reel, what are you the proudest of? What are you the happiest about?
I mean, I've managed to raise and keep three children alive.
Yeah,
No one, none of us get enough credit. None of us get enough for credit for that, which is to actually keep another human being alive uh, through diapers and meals and um, shopping and school and swimming and all the things that you have to do. Like, yeah, probably the greatest triumph of my life is that I have three children, and thank God they're all healthy and successful till now. And still got many years of my youngest being in the house, but God willing, things will turn out just so, and he'll be a successful young adult.
right on. So, at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you: family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Well, I gotta ask us tough questions, huh?
This is the last one.
Who do
This
you
is the
who do you
final
think
one.
who do you think you
Who do
are?
you think you are?
It's very interesting, isn't it? Like um everyone can describe you better than you can describe yourself. Who am
Yeah,
I? I think I'm creative. I think I'm charming. I think that I am um sometimes forgetful. I am disorganized. I am uplifting. I am caring. Um, I'm a mixed bag, just of the same way we all are, right? Like I got some great points, and I've got some things that I'm still working on, and I'll be working on till the day I die.
I dig it. So, I got to know, coming into Kansas City from the outside in, what do you like the best about living in the Kansas City area?
I mean, it is like just blissfully easy. There is always parking. There is never traffic. I live near like every single thing. It's just all the things that, like, I lived in New York City, and I love New York City. I mean, I really love New York City. And sometimes, like, once a week, I'd be just ready to pull my hair out, pull what's left of my hair out. It's just like there are so many points of frustration. There are just so many things that are grinding on you all the time. And none of those things are here. It's just like this simple, easy, chill life. It's really nice.
Yeah. So, if anybody wants to get the book, they want to hire you, they have questions, any of the good business, where do they go?
So NeuroDiscipline is the name of my brand. So you can go to neurodiscipline.co to book a call. You can go to neurodiscipline.com to learn more about the program. You can check out my Instagram at neurodiscipline, which is slowly growing, but growing. You can go. The name of my book is Split Second: Stop Stalling and Start Doing. That's on Amazon. And so yeah, Neurodiscipline, Split Second. My last name is Adam Tilove, spelled Ti in the word love, Tilove. And just a simple Google search will pop up all these things. You know, and yeah, send me a message, book a call. I'm always available. Not
I love
always.
it. I will make it easy. I will put links in the show notes. Adam, this has been wonderful. You did stellar. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking a minute out. I
Such
appreciate
a
it.
pleasure. Thanks for the quick, great questions. Really moved it along quickly.
Yeah,
You seem like you're good.